Radahn, Mesmer, these are big names in the Lands Between, but what about a more underground choice? Literally. The Ancestral Followers have cool horns and some quirky weapons. Could these bully boys bully the bosses of the Lands Between? Or will they beef it? One thing's for sure, since you can grab all their gear before fighting a boss, that makes them a secret starting class. Oh, and by the way, this run uses one of the most underrated weapons I've ever used. It's not just a secret starting class today, it's a secret banger weapon that everyone's been sleeping on. Hey everybody, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Twatchies runs live Ancestral. Follow me on Twitch. We're finding new ways to play Elden Ring all the time. Join the Patreon to support the channel and watch exclusive videos. Oh, and to join the Discord. Finally, make sure you like and subscribe, because if you follow me on all the right places, everything will be alright.
I'm singing, follow me, everything is alright.
We're kicking things off as a samurai, then putting the cow in Cowabunga as we jump into Limgrave. But you can't be a real cowgirl without a horse for some reason, so Malenia gives us a horse, and now we can start riding cowgirl. Google tarnished Malenia cowgirl on your work computer to find out more. Help Alex out of a hole just to be nice. I don't get sinister vibes from the followers, they seem pretty chill. Grab the physic in the third church and ride it down to the Saoirse Ronan River well. Right away we'll grab the horn bow and some free pickles. We should probably use the bow for farming since it is technically part of the kit, but
I don't want to.
Early lore, though, from the horny bow. Longbow made from animal horn, wielded by the master hunters of the Ancestral Followers. Imbues arrows fired with magic damage. Reveals its true worth when used with magic-infused arrows. It puts a little extra magic damage on arrows, I guess. It's not lying to say it shows its true worth when you use magic-infused arrows, but like, it's still basically useless. Time to farm. We're looking for the Great Horn Hammer from this one Minotaur by the Torch. There's a few other ones that can drop it down here, but the fastest route for me is just to get the grace, hit it, then go back and start over. It's a 2% drop rate, 1 in 50 odds, but we mostly just get the thin beast bones, which is wild. I would imagine these boys got some thick beast bones. Just goes to show you can never judge a book by its cover. Unlike the early Vulgar Militia farm, these dudes drop like 250 runes per kill. We'll get a few levels here, but nothing to write home about. It's a pretty safe farm, at least. Cattle are very docile animals. The worst part is just being attacked by the mosquito, since it pulls our lock-on off occasionally, but it consistently only takes a couple of unsheaths to break the stance, then one more hit. It drops on number 18, or Pidgeot if you like to count with Pokemon. Honestly, it only takes like 13 minutes. I've had much worse farms than that. We still need the armor, but there's much better places we can farm for that. Lore from the Great Horn Hammer first. Huge, thick horn carved with tree ring-like markings, adapted into a bludgeoning weapon, wielded by Ancestral Follower warriors. The ancient horn is imbued with the power of ancestral spirits. A small amount of HP is restored upon defeating an enemy. You get 3% back when you kill an enemy. It's not even noticeable, but it's also not why you use this weapon. You use it because it's a big hammer, and big hammers are good. Running around Lernia, Smaragd gets angry. We have no health investment so far, and the weapon is unupgraded.
Bring it on.
Big hammers bash the hell out of big heads. While some of the dragons are bad because they aren't fun, like Fortisax, dragons like Smaragd are bad because they aren't good at fighting. So we get Great Horny on the bad dragon's sensitive head. While we might just be tickling it, eventually that's enough for a satisfying finale. Ooh, we finished in his eye. That's got a sting. Now we can warp through Raya Lucaria and warp out to the Bellum Highway. That'll let us drop down to the Raya Lucaria Crystal Cave. You think workers have the power to strike? Well, in the Lands Between, strike hits workers. But really, strike damage is great against Stone Diggers and Crystallians. Also, Great Hammers have an absurd stance damage. I love them. If great is in your weapon category name, it's accurate. Think about it. Great swords, great hammers, great spears, great bows.
Get him out of here!
Hitting the Crystallian with strike damage feels like you're not even being resisted, because you aren't. Dude gets turned into gravel. The Smithing Stone Bell-Bearing 1 lets us crank up the Great Horn Hammer a little bit before heading to farm yet again. But to get there, we have to go around Sauron in his tower. Currently, we're naked, which means we're very susceptible to tempting from the ring. We get frenzied on the way in, we get frenzied at the top of the tower, but then we just hit like 6 guys. Did Aragorn not think to try this? Before we take on an army of cows, let's take out their god, the Erdtree Avatar, with big slams from the big hammer. Elden Stars Jr. is annoying and it spams it 4 times during the fight. Rude. Now it'll be safe to farm these cows. Why can't I do that, dude? Why isn't that a unique Ash of War on these fucking weapons? Okay, whoops. Resetting the count here, there are 7 cows we can farm each time. They mostly drop arrows, but they also really don't like getting hit with hammers, which is weird. I tried using the bow to pull aggro, but that makes them go into super horny rage mode, where their horns get hornier, so I don't think that's the move. On number 33, we get the Jawbone Axe. We'll do all the lore at the end. 36, we get the shirt. There aren't arm pieces for this armor. Sun's out, guns out, I guess. I love how often we break the stance and then hit the final hit of the combo like we're swinging a golf club. Spoilers for Last of Us 2. I like to think of this as a training arc, and the Ancestral Followers are training me before I leave our family home. They're our brothers. They want us to be strong. We drop our brother's pants at 71. Wait, not pants. Pretty bad luck, but the rest of the stuff was pretty good luck, so I'm not complaining. Axe at Nidorino, shirt at Clefable, boots at Victory Bell. We're done farming. Let's do some lore from the axe. Axe made from an herbivore's skull, weapon of the Ancestral Followers who disdain metal. This axe is more of a bludgeon. It forgoes a bladed edge, instead using the beast's molar teeth to buff at foes, dealing strike damage. I wonder if this is why Erdtree avatars are weaker to strike than they are to slash. Basically, it's a hammer. It's an axe that deals strike damage, but we would call that a hammer. It's a fine hammer, but it's not a great hammer, so I can't really think of a reason to use it when we do have a great hammer in the Great Horned Hammer. From the armor, raiment fashioned from a bristly pelt, worn by the Ancestral Follower warriors. The Ancestral Followers keep their distance from the Erdtree, awaiting new buds. They are certain to sprout from their very flesh, and indeed their souls. Poetic, but didn't we farm these guys at the base of the Erdtree? They keep their distance the same way I keep my distance from Magic the Gathering packs, by not doing it. No new lore on the head, at least not this head.
So no head?
Of course there will be head, we just don't have to farm it. We just have to get hornier. Wait, that might get a little too sexy later. Let's talk about today's sponsor before you all get too out of control. Because today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Building a following is easy when you're a giant ancestral moose, but how do you build a following online? Well, you use the comprehensive analytics from Squarespace, of course. They'll tell you where your customers are coming from and what products they're buying. Worried about operations management? Don't have a cow, man. Squarespace takes care of inventory, production, and shipping for you. The hard parts. But if you're in the more esoteric skill teaching business, Squarespace has options to run courses as well. You could charge a one-time fee or subscriptions, it doesn't matter. Squarespace will do it for you. All of this is easy to build with the Squarespace Fluid Engine. Our website on your work computer took me an afternoon to put together, and it was really fun. Go to squarespace.com to start your free trial today. Then when you're ready to publish, go to squarespace.com/tulokmango and enter offer code tulokmango at checkout for 10% off your first domain or website. Now I think it's time we grab life by the horns.
Rhinoceros, my beats are fat and the birds are on my back and I'm horny.
Heading through the Mistwood, we get the Physic Flask for the better charged attacks, as well as the Talisman for better charged attacks. Charging is what bulls love to do. Have you ever been to Spain? I have, at a connecting flight at the Barcelona airport. Really got to soak up the culture while I took a nap under some chairs. Now imagine being horny in Fortnite. It's one thing Fortnite has been missing. Maybe not, actually that sounds like a terrible idea. Warp to the Dragonbarrow, head up to Fort Ferrell for the other piece of the Dectus Medallion, and die to rats. We don't really have an early game farm to get runes, so we're kinda struggling on the vigor aspect. We can at least make the weapon hit harder by diving into the second sealed tunnel for the Smithing Bell-Bearing 2. I used to just bail right after, but if you keep going there's a free pickle and basically a free boss that will drop the runes you need to level up your weapon. It takes a second to get the rhythm down on this Onyx Lord, but then we just keep repeatedly stance breaking him over and over. Onyx is always such a joke, even if he looks cool. More runes from the Abandoned Cave. Despite basically being a tank top, this armor set has decent immunity. And the Great Hammer, it's like a Great Hammer. So breaking down the Cleanrot Knights goes pretty fast, giving us the Golden Scarab Talisman to make more money. But with no bleed, Sleepy Dragon isn't really an option. We'd basically have to no-hit the Putrid Avatar in Dragonbarrow instead. It's slow, but steady, until we died. Then it's fast and deathy. Patience is a virtue, and I'm a scumbag. Thankfully, next attempt, it doesn't go for Elden Stars Jr. until like the very end of the fight, so we make our money and get our nice 40 vigor. With that, we're ready to fight Radahn before Margit. Look, the Ancestral Followers do things a little quirky, okay? We summon all of our buddies to join us, then get in there to start smacking Radahn. The stance pressure on this hammer is absurd. We get 2 stance breaks in phase 1. Never try to get that crit though. He will stand up way too fast. A 3rd stance break in phase 2 is so free. God bless Great Hammers. I love them so much. Normally the Ancestral Follower isn't isn't a boss, but it can be if you fight a mimic tier. Just back up, walk forward and hit R1. It falls into a weird cycle where it rolls bad. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm giving advice for the mimic. It's easy. Wait, if we're a cowgirl, that would mean that this mimic is our evil twin, the dreaded reverse cowgirl. Don't make eye contact. Let's just move on. Light all the torches again and beat up one more follower for the Shining Horned Headband. It's a 100% drop from them and has unique lore. From the description, headband decorated by a pair of shining horns worn by the Ancestral Follower Shamans. Horns with buds that also shine are ideal ceremonial items for ancestral worship. Strengthens Ancestral Infant's head. Oh, yeah, we're not getting the Ancestral Infant's head, by the way. It's really bad. Basically useless, but it does have some more, so, Skull of the very young ancestral spirit. Just think how many sproutings it might bear. Used to spray spirit vapor, inflicting magic damage. The vapor becomes a temporary geyser, which deals continuous damage to everything it touches until it disappears. Yeah, believe it or not, splatooning on the floor is not the best way to fight most bosses in the game. Before we fight the moose in Noxtella, I want to fight the moose in the Sersha. I worked out a system with my chat. Some of the torches were already lit, or A-lit for short. I asked them to help me find the ones that could be lit, or C-lit for short. After a while, we find the C-lit together, and it wasn't all that hard, just maybe a little more firm. The first moose can't teleport or heal. It just hops around a lot and makes it a lot less annoying. I think they made this one first, then needed to escalate to the second one. This gives us the Ancestral Follower Spirit Ash, which is annoyingly a Grave Glovewort Spirit Ash, which the unique stuff in this game wasn't harder to upgrade. But alas, here we are, heading to the Weeping Peninsula, and something spooky happens. Oh! The ghost disappeared! Welcome back to Haunted Elden Ring. Today we're talking about a cursed copy of Elden Ring that was bought at a garage sale on Friday the 13th. When the player brought it home and put it into their Game Boy at 3 a.m., they noticed there was only one save file. The character's name was Shadow and had 666 hours of playtime. But when they opened it up, they saw something truly cursed. In the player's left hand was the demi-human queen staff. That's right, this player was using spells. Follow for more spooky stories. Just had to fill some time there while we grab the Grave Ward from the Tombsword Catacombs and the Caelid Catacombs. We'll just leave the Spirit Ash at +5 for now. Maybe we'll upgrade it later, but it really works best as a sniper, so hopefully it won't get hit anyway. Time for the most intense boss fight.
A room with a moose!
But this time, the moose can teleport around, and it's got healing. Great opportunity for the Ancestral Follower to show off its arrows, really clear the whole field. They're good arrows, not like the shitty dwelling ones we get to use. If you could use the horn bow with the dwelling arrows and they turned into those giant things that the Ancestral Followers actually use, that'd be sick. Moose stance breaks pretty fast, but then it heals all that damage off. Brutal. Oh well, guess we'll just have to do a major test of cardio. I'm back up to a 10-minute mile. Personally, I'm pretty happy with that, and we'll keep pushing it throughout the year. We always whiff right before it heals again. That really hurts. I just feel like we might have gotten the stance break if we landed the hit. Then it does the moose roll out, which I'm worse at dodging than the Godskin version. Thankfully though, it just kind of goes for the sniper. Finally we get it done, but it wastes about 4 minutes of our time. Once the Lady in the Round Table hold shuts up, we can buy the Winged Greathorn, the last weapon of the Ancestral Followers. From the description, distinctive horns suffused with the power of the ancestral spirits, this large wind-shaked specimen is wielded as a weapon of spirit worship. In the ancestral spirit worshipping faith, these are considered envoys' wings, made to reap the lives of beings which experience no sprouting. So I think sprouting refers to how you leave your runes behind when you die, meaning that this sort of vacuum sucks the souls of everyone who doesn't do that. And if the Regal Ancestor Spirit is older than the Erdtree, it would make sense that there was something in the world to suck up the souls before the Erdtree got there. Also makes sense that, you know, it's not doing so hot anymore. Erdtree kind of monopolized it. Really took over, like Amazon, crushing a small business. It's a somber weapon, so EG will help us get it up to 4, then we can get it up to +5 with some of the somber stones we picked up in the rest of the world. Let's test some damage against the hands in Carrier Manor. It looks like the axe at +5 is better than the hammer at +13. Though the hammer has strike damage, the axe does standard damage. We might still swap, and neither are fully leveled up yet. There's a lot of time to change our movesets. Let's show off Soul Stifler against Loretta, and this is the weapon you've been sleeping on. Soul Stifler makes a bad news vape cloud in a big old area for around 10 seconds. If any part of the boss touches any part of that cloud, they instantly get a debuff of 15% to all of their damage protection for a minute. Remember everyone, the cloud lasts 10 seconds. The debuff lasts for a minute. There's no resistance that builds up. If you want to use it again in a minute, it will work again in a minute. Every type of damage does more, except for like bleed and frostbite procs obviously, but strike, fire, holy, lightning, whatever you want it to do, it does more damage. And yeah, you could use this as just a debuff stick to swap to a different weapon, but the axe does solid damage after the debuff. I think someone on Reddit posted that this Ash of War only works for 10 seconds, and everyone just believed them and threw the weapon in the garbage. It rips. For now, it made Loretta pretty easy, but she's always easy. Hello Ronnie, hello Celavus, hello EG, hello Knife that can kill gods that someone left in a cardboard box at the bottom of Noxtella. That seems unsafe. Here, Ronnie, you hold on to this for me. She gives us an hourglass to flip the Carrion study hall, but if I had my druthers, here's what I'd do. To the Incel River Main, where there's lots of cool running we can do. Don't say hi to Phalanx Demon's Holes, we just need that Somber 7 up here for the axe, and the 6 too while we're here. The 8 and 9 are in the Dragonbarrow, and just like that, we've got a +9 Somber weapon before we fought Margit. Oh my god, we haven't fought Margit yet. What a weird route. I guess the followers just love hanging out underground. Hit Margit with the Vape Juice, then 2 jump attacks. A fully charged attack breaks his stance. We get the crit. It's a 15-second fight. I know it's just Margit, but I mean, come on, that kinda cooks. Gostok next, thanks for opening the gate, dork. Instant karma. We get hit by every little arrow from the ballista. I don't have to get good at dodging them. I'm good at making my vigor 40. Danger path isn't even dangerous. Is Godrick? I don't know. Let's get our sniper support out, then vape him. Instantly goes to phase 2, and a charge attack breaks him down so we can crit him to death. But did you notice, eagle-eyed viewer, the bad news vape cloud continued through the phase transition? Most status effects don't do that. It's just built different. Time to really show it off on everything pre-capital. We start off by getting +5 to everything from Godrick's Great Rune. The axe is quality, and for once that is true. It scales with dex and strength just about equally. Raya Lucario will be the first to fall to the bulls. I get hit with everything the Red Wolf has. It gets hit with 4 R1s, because that's all it takes to kill it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Abductor Virgin should really try and play basketball. It has incredible reach. Quit out for Moongrum, then vape Mom when she falls and starts swinging. In phase 2, she summons the moon. I summon a sniper. Neither end up mattering because I just stifle that soul so hard, she explodes. Oh hey, we never even had to get the pickle recipe yet. The route we were on just took us to 4 free ones. Want to see me one-shot Nerd Juice? Cool. Want to see me one-shot Patches? Ah, damn, it's actually a 2-shot. I'm gonna tell myself that's because he has to surrender, right? Like he's got to have like once more from Kingdom Hearts just so he can surrender. Let's go with that. Totally would have been a 1-shot. Remember to get the extra pocket, and remember to get something with which to fill it. Gilka takes 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay, we've definitely had +9 somber weapons for Gilka before, and I think 3 hits is still close to a record. Lake of Rot, more like Lake of Pressing Circle. At the bottom, there's an invasive species to the underground, Astel. The follower is great here, sniping pretty much the whole fight, but that doesn't stop Astel from teleporting. When we actually do have the opportunity to hit, we hit hard. We get sucked up by gravity.
We're soaring, flying.
I'm really just trying to get over this quickly, but Astel has so many get off me buttons. If only we had a ranged attack option. Not you. Boggart is making shrimp. Let's show him that we have beef with people who don't respect women. Give Raya her necklace and we can teleport to Caria Manor. Tanith gives us the key and we zoom through the town until the snake knocks us off the elevator. Okay, buddy, I'll get the next one. The Noble is weak to Soul Stifler, because everything is. Great Axe also has great stance pressure, breaking him down, getting a big crit and a big win. On a big boy too. He's large, but we're in charge. Serpent Hunter versus Rykard, but not till we get a little bad juice on him. Then get grabbed 3 times. Come on, Phil. Rule 1. Phase 2 we get chomped. Is the dodge button broken today, dude? Whatever. Next time it works, Rykard is a lot like life. It happens. It's not very good, and then it's over.
Kids, could you lighten up a little?
This new routing is probably fastest, but it really puts 3 stinkers back to back. Valiant Gargoyles should count as 2 stinkers because there's 2 of them. At least this axe is clapping those gargoyle cheeks. I wish we could upgrade the hammer a bit more. They are weaker to strike than they are to standard, but not by much. We end things with a big crit. It's very satisfying. We're now the deepest underground one can go, the Deeproot depths. There's ants we can smack up for some rune arcs before fighting 5 more stinkers. Now, at least they're the last stinkers for a while, but Goddamn, Fia's champs are stinky. Since the follower is only +5, it ends up dying when there are 3 champs left on the field, and our armor is not great. Big downside of this build. Armor is light and it lacks gloves, so I hope you're ready for another major test of cardio.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
Whoever decided that NPCs get unlimited stamina, I want to talk. And while we're talking, I'm going to chase you down with my car. But the stinker era is over. It's time to be a cow in the big city.
I'm moving out.
The Erdtree Avatar is a nice DPS test, and our damage is massive. No Elden Stars Jr. Obviously, a great axe is great at handling a great tree. Grave Warden Duelists got some moves, but so do we. Those moves are moving us into their attacks, and our vigor makes that okay. Things will get a lot better with the Ritual Shield Talisman for 30% more defense on the first hit. Shade time, and I'm used to the shade. Underground is always shady. The damage continues to be absurdly high. We don't quite finish with the back shots, but after we pull out, things end pretty quickly. Put 3 minutes on the clock, we got a Morgott to fight. The last 2 times we put the 3-minute timer on, that pressure got to my head. But a cow in a pressure cooker, that's gonna make short work of Morgott. Short rib work. Hit him with the bad news cloud and stance break him out of the sword rain. A fully charged attack as he stands up, then he starts throwing up. But the follower is still shooting and I'm jumping in. We're getting that win. Pickles saved. I always save the pickles because I don't like them. Keep them off my plate. It's a bully flavor. And the fact that restaurants add the vinegar and sugar slop missile to every burger plate is so annoying. For Bidenlands, climate change is coming for your burgers. If you don't care about flooded cities, can you at least care about how you won't get hamburgers when the seasons get messed up? Found a great use for the hornbow, shooting birds, except it still takes arrows, so like, is it even all that great? Sometimes the dragon breath can get them all in a row easily. Spells are really good, everyone. They can hit stationary birds quickly. Once we finally hit the Mountaintops of the Giants, we can get the Bell-Bearing 3 for the Great Horn Hammer. It might help it keep up with the axe in terms of damage, especially if we switch it to a heavy infusion. Easy enough to do that. I'm grabbing Wild Strikes as the Ash of War. Technically, the Ancestral Followers don't use it, but technically, they don't use Barbaric Roar either. Wild Strikes is just kind of striking wildly. At +18, it's still weaker. Oh well, I guess we'll keep using our amazing Great Axe. There's a Smithing Stone 10 we can grab for later on the way to the Fire Giant, but we really won't get to test the axe versus hammer till we beat the Godskin Duo. So first, let's kill the Fire Giant. I was worried Fire Giant's body would be too big for us to vape, but no, the damage is humongous. Reset it on the phase transition and immediately make him fall over by hitting his hand. Another stance break as he goes for the meteors. It's almost over. Just get between his legs and swing for a few more hits. That's a free Fire Giant. Please stop sleeping on the Winged Greathorn, y'all. Malenia sets the whole tree on fire. That doesn't feel very Smokey the Bear of us, but that's okay. I guess controlled burns are good for the forest floor. Godskin time, stifle that Chunky's hole. I wish we could have gotten both of them, but Bernie knows the deal by now. If we're using these as a DPS test, Bernie was done with the Apostle when we were using the Radahn build. This time, it still had like 30% of its health left. And we even gave him the Ancestral Follower to help this time. I don't know, I think the axe might be kind of cracked. Now we can max out the hammer, and it finally outpaces the axe in terms of damage with a heavy infusion. Okay, we'll swap to it after we hit the haze. Let's open up the path to Alex just in case I want to turn up the damage of Wild Strikes later. Sadly, it doesn't add more debuff to Soul Stifler. Oh well. How does a cow do on a bird run? Better than you think. It's easy enough to grab the Ancient Somber Stone to get out. Time to fight Maliketh, and I don't know what it is. I am just dookie against Gurrank lately. Dude is gonna do a no-hit run against me, and I'm jumping into every attack he does like Sideshow Bob jumping on a rake. First attempt, I just quit out.
Shut it down.
Next time doesn't go much better. I'm getting sprayed, I'm getting blasted, I'm getting slashed by the dagger that's longer than my hammer. Ugh. You don't get time to heal. You do get time to get hit, a lot. Unfortunately, we get the crit into phase 2, putting him at a weirder place, but I'm much better at phase 2. Doesn't matter that we're straight up out of flasks, it's just a much more reasonable fight with actual punish windows. Thank God that's over. Now we'll stifle Gideon's hole, and then we'll just walk forward and press R1 with the hammer. Riveting, but put a 3-minute timer back up. Godfrey, your days are numbered. Bring out the sniper, bring out the stifle. Get some jump attacks off and stance break. Gotta remember, R1s are enough. Then get grabbed. Follower gets ripped up. Remember, he's still just +5. Really thought we'd get a stance break after the big shockwave, but no. We got you almost died instead. Still win, and we can heal 3% when he dies. Thank God, but we didn't win the timer race, so we had to eat another pickle. Sad day. Radagon is weak to the Soul Stifler. Funny joke, I made it again. Strike is also pretty good. My personal favorite part of the fight is our sniper sniper, just turning him into a pincushion. Avoid the hammer slammer, get the crit for the win. Let's fight God with the power of cow. Vape, then charged attack. We get the early stance break. By the time it goes for the first rings, it's already at 40% health. Elden Stars targets our sniper, so we're totally fine. Almost got hit with the invisible wall on the triple rings, but it's no big deal. We're living. Elden Beast is dying. We're the biggest cow on the farm. Now we've just got to stifle the souls of the other remembrance bosses. Time to clean up, in a way only a cow can.
Some people think they're always right. Others are quiet.
Now, Placiduous Axe is an HP sponge. If anyone is going to make the Soul Stifler feel shitty, it's him. But this isn't a damage issue. This is a he jumps around too much issue. Normally, this lazy ass just sits around and waits. Sniper gets toasted, but we get the stance break and I start striking wildly. It's just so hard to find windows in the TP phase until he does the big lightning roar. It's another true test of cardio. Thankfully, our stats aren't very demanding, so we have a lot of endurance. By the time it goes for the Omega Laser, we can just wild strike for like 15 seconds straight and kill it. Seriously. Look how long we're wild striking. Oh my god. I'm starting to love endurance, y'all. Underrated stat. It's the Winged Greathorn of stats. Let's run a whole marathon worth of errands. Carry in Study Hall, quit out to get rid of the Sorcerer, then ride up the elevator to get the Curse Mark of Death for Fia. Give her some hugs. Cows can be very soothing animals. Fortis Axe is a lot easier with ranged options. Too bad this build doesn't have any.
I'm ready, I'm ready.
No, you ain't.
Yeah, no ranged options, bummer. So during this fight it occurred to me, a lightning boss that is an absolute pain to see with the camera, that you have to fight by hitting its toes and staying underneath its body, only to have lightning hit you underneath its body anyway when you can't see it. You know who this dude is? This is Dark Beast freaking Parl. The sniper is dead after a while, so we just have to finish it off with some awkward trades. We're at 60 vigor now though, so we're good. It's like bumper bowling. Bumper bowling's for babies who don't want to throw it in the gutter. Yeah, I don't want to throw it in the gutter. That's not fun. Bumper bowling's fun as shit. You don't have to be good. Everyone gets to have fun. Your friends can get drunk as they want. Everybody's gonna have a good time. I guess the gutters do make it harder, but harder isn't more fun. Sometimes easier is more fun. You do plenty of stuff that makes this game easier too. The physic you're drinking makes the game easier. Smithing stone you use to upgrade makes the game easier. Why stop at vigor? Get vigor. Live longer. Have more fun. Niall next in the castle's hole. Let's stifle this castle leader's hole. Soul. Soul or hole? Wait. Have I been saying hole instead of soul? Oh no! His knights are aggro as hell today. I have no time to fight back. We live, but the sniper is dead, and we're alone with 4 flasks. But did you know? I'm cracked at this game? Stifle that soul. Then use the hammer with the basic R1s. They're good enough. Especially when he goes for the Omega Spin, and we can punish him with 3 charged heavies. Get the stance break, and a charged heavy again when he stands up. Some more R1s get us another crit. That's a hitless Niall. After, his soldiers die. Consecrated Snowfield just sneak past the Knights Cavalry and ride around for the Penguin Noble. Penguins versus cows. Showdown of the monochromatic spotted animals. Our robustness, is that the stat that is the bleed resistance? Whatever it is, it's not good. So the endless endurance of the Penguin Noble is scary. No death, just a bit of fear. Mohg can be a real problem, though I found if your damage is good and your pressure is high, Mohg Lord of Blood will just fucking die. Get the stance break and punish with some wild strikes as he tries counting. Dude, we're fighting. This is not the time for math. Though maybe you should learn how to count to 18. Phase 2 is short and sweet if blood is sweet to you. Some people love it. I'm just bashing them. It's so satisfying. These archers in the liturgical town are so dangerous. I wish we could use a bow. Too bad. Haligtree time. Just run around and enjoy having a big green and red bar. Based and gruel pilled. Although I think the Ancestral Followers would probably be teamer. Let's fight the Loretta Azorius Knight. Gotta remember that R1s are good enough. I'm trying to get too fancy with these charge attacks and jump attacks. Great Hammer R1s are like other weapon charged attacks. Someone said you could avoid the slowdown in the Waterfall by running along the edge. That's not true. I think they were trying to get me off the ledge. Imagine trying to get me off. Blow up the spiders for the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. It's honestly where 90% of our defense is going to come from in the last bit of this run. Armor is light. We need 1 more level to hit light load before fighting Malenia, so RIP to this putrid avatar. That'll help quite a bit actually. Then it's Malenia time. She dives in. We make her walk through our stinky cloud and miss space jump attack. Not the best start. The sniper is sniping away. Wild strikes kinda works. I think we take too much damage on the crackback and can't cancel it very fast. If we had heavy the armor and the Godskin swaddling cloth, this could work. Damage is nice and solid between the heavy hammer and the debuff, and our light load makes dodging the ducky dance a little better. We still get hit, we get hit less because we're rolling further. Get stabbed as we try to heal, the sniper is dead, and things are looking rough. Only one flask left, but she does the uppercut. That's huge. While she's in the onion at the beginning of phase 2, we can't punish her without a ranged attack option. God, I wish we had a ranged attack option. The little flower explosion keeps catching us right at the edges. My spacing is all off today, and just like that, no more healing. Yikes. We die in the whirlwind when she activates Attack of the Clones. Outrageous. Unfair. That's from Revenge of the Sith. Bad quote. Bad prequel meme. I don't know. You can't really arrest me for that. I don't think that's illegal. I really don't want to go upgrade the Ancestral Follower, but I probably should. Second try, she keeps running in front of the vape cloud. Part of me wants to just quit, but practice is good. We've got plenty of rune arcs. Let's just try and get better at the fight. The dashing R2 seems to be better than the dashing R1, and the sniper is great at pulling her aggro, keeping the pressure up. Generally, we can hit her as she's turning to start heading for the sniper, but before she actually gets to him, or just take the window to heal. She's super armoring through a lot of stuff, so the stance breaks get really delayed, and then we get grabbed and don't die. Oh my god, I'm alive. I'm alive. Oh, okay. Attempt 3, sniper comes out, we get that soul stifled, and more importantly, we pull her away from the sniper, who then teleports closer to us. I guess they worship the moose, and the moose loves to teleport. For some reason, the game didn't want me to sprint when she was going for the ducky dance, so we get hit by all of that. I swear to god I was holding circle. It didn't register with the game. We get her in a really good pattern in the corner, but then she duckies right on top of me. God bless light load. Stance break. I don't crit. I can't push her into phase 2 with that. Instead, I wait and hit a fully charged attack as she stands up, so there's more stance going into the onion. That might have happened in her super armor though, so I don't know if it counts. I know that the sniper keeps the stance pressure up during the phase transition. That helps, but it helps Malenia more, acting as a juice box for her to heal almost all the way back up to full. Getting her back down to the 75% health she starts the phase at is a chore, but at least the sniper dies, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And we get a stance break for our troubles. Attack of the Clones, time for another test of cardio, very low, got a double chug, and we are out of flasks. Well, red flasks anyway. I drink some blue juice, but instead of making the stifler, the game double reads the inputs and wild strikes thin air. We get it off later though, just in time to get dived and duckied. Huge bummer, that one felt close. Let's do it again. Stifle hits, then our hammer does. We should have gotten grabbed, but we didn't. I'll take that. Stance break right away, that's a very nice start. The stifler also boosts the crit damage. I feel like if we added the crit talisman to this build, we could see some crazy numbers. Once again, super funny that the sniper turns her into a chia pet. It's also staying in the back to save all its health for phase 2. Refreshing the stifling and getting a nice early stance break to make up for all the health she got back while butchering our bovine buddy. When it dies, I finally noticed that it heals us 3% when it dies. Thanks, buddy. Stance break after the uppercut and a fully charged attack as she stands up. I wanted the onion, but she's going for the duck. You can't serve duck with beef. Are you mad? Finally, the onion comes out. I want to stifle, but I'm more concerned with getting that pressure on. I want her to stop moving. She's so close to dying and goes for another onion. So we just win. I run in, wild strikes. Thanks for throwing, Malenia. At 6 hours and 29 minutes, we killed 35 bosses and only died 7 times. That puts it ahead of the Bloodhound Knight in S tier. And y'all, what? What? How is it that good? The armor is terrible, and the Winged Greathorn is regularly clowned on as a bad weapon. I seriously want everyone to reconsider that maybe, potentially, dealing 15% more damage to a boss after pressing one button is pretty good? I don't know, crazy to think that. Great hammers are also very good, stance pressure rules, and strike damage is superior to standard damage like 90% of the time. Hornbow only took 10 seconds to pick up. Actually, you know what? It helped us farm birds. Thanks, Hornbow. Simple stats are probably the best thing about this run. We got to get strength and then vigor. Damn, now I guess we get endurance too. It might have even worked better to get our dexterity up for the quality scaling on the Ancestral Greathorn, saving us the trouble of hot swapping in the hammer and saving us the weight of having the hammer in our moveset. That's probably for a build with 40 extra levels. Basically, just get some extra dex, drop the hammer, put some armor on. The Winged Greathorn will impress you like it impressed me. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We have another extra long video coming out next week, I hope. If it doesn't, it's because it got too long. Join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place to do it, and join us on Twitch so you can hang out while we do these wild runs.